any kind of a relationship. So, like, you have no say in anything, buddy boy. Yeah, that was just fun. And he accused me of smoking pot with Anita, and he had no proof of that. Doesn't matter if I did or didn't. He had no proof. And, like, I couldn't believe he was coming after me for supposedly smoking pot when he's, like, part of a motorcycle gang. And, like, he had, at that point, done a whole lot worse in his life than I had ever done. So I was like, yeah, dude, why don't you go look in the mirror? Yeah, good times. Yeah, so I didn't even know for sure that his mom went to Stanford, if he is who he says he was or whatever. Like, I didn't even know for sure that his mom went to Stanford until a couple of years ago. She runs Quilted Bliss, or the quilting, I don't know, like some quilting thing. So that's just another giveaway that, like, he's related to Jennifer Bliss because of the Quilted Bliss thing. What else can I tell you? Oh, yeah. So then, like, there's David Cipriano. So David Cipriano isn't who I thought he was either. So Cipriano, he's definitely a narc. Never a server, never a car salesman. Definitely a narc. Not a phlebotomist. Definitely a narc. At UCSF, with the sister-in-law Beth Kriegsman of corrupt Department of Justice area, Alex Kriegsman or whatever, pretending to be a doctor. And, his sister, if that's even a sister, Rachel Cipriano or whatever, she was a casino hostess in Las Vegas, Nevada. Casino hostess, what do they do? Gee, they hook up wealthy men, high-ranking gamblers or whatever, with escorts. And supposedly she's now in Florida, and she went to Boston University, just like, oh, I don't know, Your Victory Girl or the Gilded Rose, or, Ruby Rose or Ruby Rose Pratt or Ruby Pratt or whatever. And that Ruby Rose, Ruby Pratt, whatever her name is, has claimed to be an ex-cop. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, since, she's saying that, her and this Alex Kriesman guy are together, and then, like, she had Ruby Rose Pratt or whatever her name is, like, had an aunt or something in Nevada City, and yeah, like, so that's how, I guess, like, the Mob Herbert Republican felon family met Alex Kriegsman or whatever his real name is, who's with the Department of Justice and not a doctor. Actually, no, they probably met before that, because another Kriegsman, Carrie Kriegsman, went to UC Berkeley, just like myredbook.com Republican Mob Herbert family member George W. Herbert. And then the Your Victory Girl, the Golden Rose, Ruby Rose Pratt, Ruby Pratt, whatever her name is, like, she has a vintage clothing store in Berkeley. Yeah, so that probably goes way back. Just so much ground to cover. Where do I go next with this stuff? Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't know a whole lot of this stuff until relatively recently. Like the Carrie Kriegsman part, or, that Ruby Pratt or whatever her name is, like, had an aunt in Nevada City or whatever. Like, I don't know. I didn't know until relatively recently. And, like, I didn't know about, for sure, the Stanford connection to this Eric Nealon character. And I didn't know about the Gilroy thing with Bernard until the last couple of years. All of this is information that I have just relatively recently learned of, for sure. I didn't even know, like, I had my suspicions about Stanford and Eric, but, like, the Gilroy and Bernard and, like, the Nevada City and Ruby Rose Pratt or whatever, like, that's just the last couple of years. And the suspicions confirmed about Nealon and Stanford connection, that's just the last couple of years as well. Oh yeah, and it was real fun too when at one point Mike Hess and his sister Nancy, who's also known as Nancy Dodge Hess or Nancy Hess Dodge or whatever, her and Mike and I were out to dinner with some other people, probably her husband and one of her kids or something. I don't know. But she was a nutrition major at UC Davis, and, like, Mike tried to get her to convince me that I'm anorexic or bulimic or whatever. Like, give me a break. Give me a goddamn break. How old am I? Yeah, if I was anorexic or bulimic, I'd be dead. Okay? I have psoriasis, I have psoriatic arthritis, and my hematologist thinks I have internal psoriasis, so that can be something that has an effect on my weight. And I'm not super skinny, and I've never been super skinny. Like, the least amount of weight I ever weighed, like, sort of as a mid-teenager, was after I got out of the hospital with a traumatic brain injury. Like, I was 81 pounds when I left the hospital because I vomited every, like, time I turned my head. And not until the last day that I was there was I able to keep anything down. And then, you know, once I got out of the hospital and was at home for a while, like, I gained weight. So that's a moot point. And then, you know, before or after that, like, the least amount of weight I ever weighed was, like, probably 92 pounds, 96 pounds, something like that. And typically I weighed in the range of, like, 102 to 110. So I've never been anorexic or bulimic, and that was a whole bunch of baloney. I am so tired. I'm just exhausted, but I think I need to cover so much ground. Where do I go from here? I don't know, but I'm going to leave off on this video.